All of the notes I read when this news came out last week was about adoption headwinds, adoption concerns, adoption. You think that people will adopt it?
I think if you live, first of all, thank you for having me. But if you look within the crypto community, stablecoins are here to stay. You're already looking at countries like France, Germany, UK, and China, which has been at the far ahead of the curve, already using stablecoins and generating stablecoins. I mean, the multi-billion-dollar empire which Circle has created has already proved the adoption. What's really fascinating about the PayPal world is that it's not crypto building for crypto. I think PayPal is an amazing movement where now you're building for anybody sitting across the world, and putting a dollar supremacy as a dollar pegged coin, digital dollar coin, all over the emerging markets, because PayPal is one of those US financial institutions where you actually use it more to order merchandises, and to have freelancer services across the world. So I think adoption is already there. 450 million more the accounts now have the capacity to pay on stable coins using Ethereum.
So that use case.
Sorry, Kara, go ahead.
Entirely my fault.
Both of you.
Just to follow up as I step all over Ed's question, I'm interested in, therefore, is it remittance? It's interesting on a day where we have, for example, Argentina, so clearly a country, and you reference emerging markets, that one has got huge instability in its own currency on the back of political headwinds or concerns and lack of security as it stands at the moment. I'm interested as to, is remittance where it's going to be for PayPal? What really does it drive forward in terms of stablecoins here?
I think there are three big places where this is going to completely change. The first is your payment system within US or anywhere where you have USD currency going. In today's world of Instagram, where I'm ordering stuff from all over the world, instead of waiting for 3 to 5 business days or looking at your verification of the cards, now you have a direct payment system. So the business payment system, especially for small businesses, this is a game changer, both domestically and globally. Second thing is, it does take away technology-wise the amount of time it takes for your money to settle, for it to reach in a verified manner, but also the cost associated with it. Apart from a basic gas cost, actually it doesn't take 3% of your Visa fee or MasterCard fee. So that is a big game changer. And the third, as you said, remittances. I think this is really going to be a big one, coming from the World Bank IFC background, where we have till today have taken 5 business days to 7 business days and created the world of money market and repos. This completely changes the game with less than 30-second settlements. So in all those 3 spaces, technology-wise, it's great. But one thing which most of the people are not talking about, Caroline, is something to look. Wherever our global politics are moving with respect to US, our debt crisis, this becoming a pegged coin does really change and reinforces the USD as the pivotal, as the most important currency, and the supremacy of that currency in the payment system.
And what's so interesting is many have been shining a light more on the regulatory concerns of the US regarding all things crypto, but also stable coins, the worry that these aren't transparently backed in some way, Ed.
Yeah, transparency or a lack of, right? Oh, I'm sorry, Kavita, I just want to make one point. The question then is, do regulators look at PayPal and say credibility? PayPal's getting into this space. We're more interested now in engaging and seeing this through the lens of credibility.
No, absolutely right. And it's very, very easy to put both the KYC things and the idea that please every quarterly basis or every monthly basis, show us how do you really have your reserves in your treasury management. I think those are the very easy things which even for companies like Tether and Circle, they have gone to SEC and said, just tell us what's acceptable, like any other bank have their treasury, whether those are pure and cash deposits, whether those are accounts receivable, whether those are in treasuries. Just tell us, US Treasuries, what are the acceptable ways? And you can do a quarterly accounting outside. Anyways, PayPal is already a public company and they will have their accounts made public. So I don't think that should be a concern. In fact, if I would be on the regulatory body, what I would be seeing is how China has used their CBDC across Africa and across Latin America to make sure the payment over blockchain using their currency with the instant settlement now now is becoming a bigger norm in the international trade mechanisms. And so why should US be behind and should use this as a way to completely go out and set themselves up?
This is why we wanted your global experience, having been with the World Bank, IFC. I'm interested though, Kavita, in your experience. Like, you backed what? Polygon, Starkware, Sorare, like companies well known in the crypto and blockchain space. Does this make crypto and blockchain more exciting for US investors for you at the moment?
I think, first of all, it definitely puts Ethereum where what it should be look like, which is a technology-based platform and not just a speculative ether financial asset. So I do think people will see that there is a lot of technology usage for blockchain, what we have been talking about, whether you use just Ethereum and you use Polygon on top of it, or Starknet, or optimistic rollouts. The second thing which I'm very excited about is this opens up the whole regulatory conversations, which SEC has for the longest time has been tiptoeing, whether you're looking at it as a speculative financial means or you're looking at it as a technology. So I'm very, very excited that not only for US regulators, but for the whole world, that beyond certain individual frauds, there's a huge game-changing technology which is here to stay and ready to roll out.